Happy late night nail therapy practice sesh with sugar and acrylic powder. Hello, everybody. How are you? What is up? Hopefully, your day or night, wherever you are in this world, is great. Yes. So, let me know if you can hear me. First off, I need to know. I figure we get back to the basics, everybody. What do you think? Alright, I need to know. Hi, Glam Love. How are you, babe? So, if you are in here, let me know if the fan back there is too loud, because I have that on. So I figured, with this little late night therapy sesh of ours, I wanted to work with acrylic. I wanted to do something with acrylic. So I've been really wanting to work on application, liquid to powder ratio, beads, different acrylics are different altogether. So I figured we'd do beads with all types of different types of acrylics. And I have different brushes to show you guys about, acrylic brushes. I have different types of nails. I have a 5XL, a 4XL, a 3XL, and a 2XL. So, different shapes. We have a square, we have a coffin, and we have a moon shape, and then we have a stiletto shape. So I figured if I got all this, we could practice together. And I figured it would be fun to be able to do that and just get back to the basics. So if you're here, make sure you like and subscribe. And shout out to everybody in here. Hello. Are you guys ready? Is that loud? Somebody, please comment and let me know if that fan back there is loud. I need to know. But we have a couple different brands. Mostly my brand, but I also pulled some other brands. So for acrylic, we have chunky glitter. We have regular, small, fine glitter. We have just regular colored acrylic. We have cover powders, glow powders, and cover with glitter powders, plus the clear, and it's super chunky. Super chunky. So I figured the different types we could go through as well. If you want to practice with me, practice with me. If you don't, that's cool too. But hello, everybody. My name is Sugar. I do a little bit of everything. Yeah, it's acrylic buffet, but we're getting back to the basics. I want to practice. Excuse me. So I figured it would be fun to kind of do this and kind of do a couple different techniques that I've seen people say, don't do this, do this. But then they say, don't do that, but do this. And I'm like, wait. So honestly, in my opinion, it's based off how you feel. And you can put little tips and tricks from other people into yours. But it's basically repetition. Once your brain gets it down, then you can kind of, you get better as you go. So consistency is kind of key in that. But I figured that's what we would do. We have a couple different size brushes as well. We can talk about what you need, different products. Not every product is not equal. It's not treated equal. Hi, Lake. Is it Lakely? I'm making the thumbnail for, ooh, yay. But yeah, not every product is created equal, guys. So yeah, I just figured I would practice, you guys can practice with me, and I want to do better on my end of things because I just kind of dive in and just do it. There is no rhyme or reason for me when I do it, so I can snatch a nail set up, but I want to be a little bit more precise with how I do it. So I figured maybe it would help y'all out. Y'all don't have to do what I do. Disclaimer, I am not a nail tech, y'all. Okay? I'm just an enthusiast trying to grow, get better, that sort of thing. So if you want to hang out, if you want to chill late night with me and come practice with me, or if you just want to watch, if you have questions, put them in the chat. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to talk in the chat. We love it over here. All right. We're just going to get started. Is that loud in the background? Is my fan loud? Please, somebody tell me if my fan is super loud. If it's annoying, let me know and I'll turn it off. And then that way... Hi, Icy. And then that way, yeah, I'll know whether or not, if you want music, if you can hear me good. Okay, can you hear me good though? Alright, so I have a couple different brands. I have Mia's Secret because the reason why I have Mia's Secret, guys, is because I know that this dries very fast. Hi, Roblox girl. Banned you? What? Alright, cool. This dries relatively fast, so that's why I grabbed this one, so we could try that out with the new type of way I want to try it. I'm going to show you how I typically do it, but I also have chunky glitter here, like chunky glitter. I'm going to show you how to work with that. Glitter is like my thing, guys, so I'm used to working with it, but we have ultra fine glitter. We have a mix of fine, so this is like a mix of everything in one. So is this one, but a little bit more. So this one's got flakies in it, so it's a little bit different. We have regular shimmer acrylics. We have glow. We have also got this one from Nail House, Cerise, I think, maybe. I'm not sure, but this is a cover, so I figured we could use a cover as well. So I figured showing you covers and glitters would be better than just showing you one color of a cover. You know what I mean? So that way we're kind of getting a variety of different things. Not all brushes are created equal, and not every brush that says it's a size 12 is the same. Every brand's different, guys. So I wanted to show you a little bit different type of brushes that I have. They're not the best, but they are affordable. This one is a no name. Okay. I'm going to show you this brush here. This is a non-good brush from Born Pretty. Do not buy this. It is $4.99. There's a reason why it's $4.99, y'all. Okay? So, I use this basically just to do swatches sometimes. Yeah, but there's different lengths of brushes. As you can see, this one is like a short one, number 12, but it looks like a 10. This one's a number 12, but it's super long. And it's very thin. Can you see the difference? So this is the barrel of your brush, body of your brush. And I've also conditioned mine to be flat, but this one is a no-go. This is a, example of a bad brush that's not worth wasting your money on. This one you can't get anymore. This one was given to me. It's not the greatest. It's not real Kolinsky. However, it's decent brush. This one's a size 14. This is a little bit bigger brush. However, it's bigger, as you can tell. This one's a size 12, so you can see the difference here in the color of the bristles. We are doing acrylic. We're just going to get to the basics. I'm just showing the brushes that you guys can get. And I'm going to show you my favorite brush. Now this brush right here, look how thick this brush is. You see how thick this brush is and how big this brush is? This is a size 12. Real Kolinsky brush from Nailmate. I do have a code with her. It is linked. So this is also size 12, guys. You see the difference here? Not all brushes are created equal, right? This is a 14. And it's smaller than my size 12. See the difference? So it just depends, guys. For a beginner, I would start out with an 8 and then work your way up to a size however long. But I would suggest using an 8 or a 10 if you're starting out, because those would be your go-to acrylic brushes for doing acrylic if you're a beginner. Hi, Sarah. So I have a few different nails over here as well. And I have this guy too. This guy is a number 16. This is a big honky. I have not used him yet. I'm scared of him. I shouldn't be, but I am. A size 12 is my go-to. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the different sizes there. We're also going to be doing it on a nail tip as well. I'm going to use my fake hand to do that. But I wanted to kind of do a little bit of bead ratio with you guys first off, and all that good stuff. But here are the different sizes. We have a 5XL square, then we have a 4XL coffin, and then we have a 3XL moon shape, and then we also have a 2XL stiletto. So we're going to be using these as different types of nail tips that you can do, because each one is going to be different, but the technique should be the same. Hi, Craft Girl. Hi, Me Happy. How are you? How are you? How are you? All right, so I'm going to set these guys aside real quick. I do have my little finger here, or I have my hand right here. So what I'm going to do is put these in my hand so they're already in there, and then that way we don't have to worry about it. But I wanted to practice, and I thought it would be cool to go over a little bit with you guys. I'm not a nail tech. I am just an enthusiast, but I want to practice and thought it would be fun to maybe help you guys out. And hopefully I can help you guys out in a way that you will remember, you know, or that you can do it. Shout out to everybody in here. Thanks for being here. I'm going to just clean this lady off. This is Becky with the no hair. This is what her name is. I allowed my community to name her quite a few years ago. I think 3 years ago. So I'm just getting all the dust, dander, and hair because, you know, likes to stick to her. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and put the nail tips inside. Hi, Nadians. Okay, love. Alright. So this guy's going to have to go in there. That guy's a little bit big. I'm going to have to get a different one. So with my nail tips, guys, I just put them in there. I don't add these other tips and do all that. I don't do all that. So this guy is a little bit too big, but I think we'll be alright. I'll put him there. And I'm going to fold this guy over so she sticks inside there like so. Alrighty. Look at that big honking lady in there. Woo! This guy, I'm just going to put in here. There we go. Ta-da! Alright, those are ready. So, I am going to move these out of the way. I'm going to start with a cover powder. And I'm going to show you how I used to do it. And I'm going to do like a real one. Alright, I'm going to use each brush because I'm going to use this little guy because the smaller the brush, the smaller your beads are going to be. But the bigger your brush, the bigger your beads are going to be because the smaller your brush, it doesn't hold as much liquid as a bigger brush does. And I just noticed that I had acrylic at the edge of my brush right here and had no idea. So, I am going to clean this out really quickly. So I have this guy. This is a nice like towel. It doesn't leak through. It's really, really nice. It's like a shop towel. What size do you recommend? I recommend an 8 for a beginner. If you're a beginner, you've never done it, I recommend an 8, and then you can use a 10 and work your way up that way. That's like, I started with an 8, but it was like kind of too small, so I went in with a 10, and I was good at using a 10 versus like anything else, and I've been using a 12 ever since. But like I just showed you guys, not all brushes are created equal. So this is a size 12, this is a size 12, and this is a size 12. So look at the difference here. See that difference? So this is a real Kolinsky. This one's Kolinsky. And then this one says it's Kolinsky, but it's technically synthetic and whatever. As you can see how light this is right here. See how light the bristles are here? It's a little bit darker here, so it's a little bit synthetic. Synthetic ones, you can actually see how the hairs are different on the brushes, if that makes sense. So, but this one is one of my favorite brushes right here. Kemsky, and this one came with a... where'd it go? This one actually came with this guy here. So it came with a number 2 3D brush. This brush is okay. It's not the best, but this one is, and I love it. And I have used this one for almost 1.5 years, 2 years now. And so even though it's not real, it's worked great. And this one you can't get anymore. But as you can see, this one is not crimped, but these ones are. I go with a crimped brush because those are the best. They really, really make it flat and help you to train your brush to stay flat, because you want it to stay flat at the ends while you're doing this. But this one kind of goes a little, it like twists for some reason. I don't know, it's weird, but it is what it is, and you can't pick up a lot with this one like you can these. So I'll show you guys that in a moment. This is a size 14. And, I mean, look, my size 12 is bigger than this one. So not every brush is created equal, guys. And you guys will have to just kind of dibby-dabble around to see which one's better for you. Hi, Nicole. What did I miss? Is that the size you sent from Nelly? No, hers is a size 4. The one that Nelly has is this one right here. We both have the same brush. So this is the Pana 3D Kolinsky number 4. And we got this off Amazon for $9.99. And you want to be careful because there are dupes of this brush, you guys. Okay, there are dupes of this brush. And I will make sure to add the exact link that I have of this one, so you don't get duped on what brush is what. Okay? Marish, hi. Alrighty, dighty. But this one came with 2, and so that's why I got this one. I love it to death. What designs do you recommend for beginners? Oof. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Somebody wrote something big here. Hold on. That girl Robin, hello. Please don't spam the chat, but I see you, I see you. New, but I'm wearing to do nails. I've been having trouble with having my gel nails stay on for over 3 days. What do I do to get them to stay on for longer? Prep. Prep is going to be your key. Hi, Marish. I think that's how you say your name. If not, my bad. Jesselyn, hello. Prep is going to be your key, guys. If you want your gel to stay on longer, that's definitely going to be your key, is prepping the nail plate. You can use a primer. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more in here. You don't need a crap ton of monomer. I am using Young Nails monomer because Young Nails monomer is very, very universal. Now, guys, I don't use a bunch of different monomers. I've only used Young Nails and Mia Secret, and I hate Mia Secret monomer because it's so loud. It's so loud. But prep is key for your gel, or for anything for that matter. You're going to, you know, want to make sure you buff your nail bed, take out the oils with your alcohol. You can use a dehydrator and a primer, acid primer, if you need it to stay on for longer periods of time. And just depends on how your nails are and all of that. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We're going to practice together. I want to do this. I want to make it, I want to be better, but I'm going to show you my way. And then we're going to go into the new way that I think is better. So I'm going to show you how I used to do it, just because. And then we'll do some beads and all that stuff. I'm going to show you how each one of these does in terms of the brush itself. But I'm going to show you how I do it as well. So I'm going to use this lady here for this one, just so we have it. But alright, I'm going to use the size 12 to 14. Let's do this one. I'm going to show you this guy. So, what you want to do, right? You want to take your brush, burp it. Burp it means getting all the bubbles out. Okay, so you're going to take it at the bottom, and you're just going to go like this and lift up. Look at that. And you see how much monomer is in there? You see how now it used to be flat. It used to be flat. Look at that. See all the monomer in there? That's how much monomer we picked up. We're gonna... Now look. See how much flatter it got? And I only tapped it once. I'm gonna tap it again. Even flatter. Some people do this, and they go from the barrel to the end and swipe, and then they do it again, and they do it again, they do it again. You're taking all the monomer out of your brush, so you're not going to be able to get a good, nice bead with it if you keep doing this. You're just swiping all the monomer out of your brush, so there's nothing in your brush. I mean, there still is monomer in there, as you can see. There's always monomer that's going to stay up here in the belly of your brush, but you want it at the tip. You don't want too much at your tip, but You want enough at the tip because you're going to pick it up with your tip. You're not going to pick it up with the belly of your brush. If you pick it up with the belly of your brush, it's not going to work out so great for you. But let's do this. Let's do this one. I'm going to do a couple beads and then we'll go from there. That is a lot. It is. It is. Look at that. I forgot to take the top off. I've only used this like once. Has it been once? I think so. Oh, good grief, Crystal. Yeah. I should do your nail. I don't do anybody's nails but my own. I am not a nail tech, so I can't do other people's nails. Alright. We are using Me Secret Cover Cool Pink. This cover, depending on what your room is, your room temp, if it's anywhere over 75 or higher or hotter, your stuff's going to dry so fast. So it's all about temperature. If it's too cool, it'll be about 63 and under. And I think that's when it kind of just drips everywhere. So your temperature plays a role, your monomer plays a role. If your monomer is dirty, that also plays a role. If you have a lot of acrylic in your monomer, it's super dirty. That will also not allow you to be able to do nice beads and stuff either. So we're just going to practice a little bit of beads and go from there. I'm going to use this guy here. This is the non-real brush from Amazon. Yes. Yep. This is their pink with glitter in it for a cover. It's really pretty. It's a little on the light side because it's a cool tone, but I like it. So, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to put this here. So, what I'm doing is I'm just back and forth, burping the brush, getting all those bubbles out, because I want to show you guys something. I'm going to get all the monomer out really quick. Alright, I took it out, right? I'm messing with the bristles. I haven't put it in. Let's just say I haven't put it in there. Right? Right? I'm just going to do this. Yoop. And one good thing, to make sure you don't have acrylic in your brush, one way to know that you don't have acrylic in your brush is to spread the bristles out. Like so. They won't spread out. If you have acrylic stuck at the edge of your brush here, or up in here, they will not spread out like this, okay? They'll stick together and you'll see it like, I can't do it because there's nothing in here, but you'll see it clumped together, and yeah, it's not a good thing. So just make sure you always clean your brush after you're done. Really, really well. So, we're going to do this. Since I just messed with it, right? Watch. Oh, you see them bubbles? So that's what you're going to do when you burp it. I don't know if you guys seen all those bubbles, but that's why you burp it. So you don't have a bunch of bubbles in there. And then that way, every bristle in your brush is saturated. And because if there are bubbles in there, then the acrylic can get stuck inside of the middle of your bristles without you even knowing. Okay? So technically, we're going to do this. Look how much is in there. It's not flat anymore because see how it's dripping, right? It's too much monomer. So what I typically use, here's what I used to do. I would do this, and I would just go tap. I just tap that for so long. I tapped damn near all of my monomer. Not all of my monomer, but most of it out of my brush. But when you tap it on the side of your dish, you're moving, not only are you releasing the monomer from this side of your brush, but on this side, you're moving the monomer to this side of your brush. So you want to flip it, right? So if I'm doing this and I'm tapping that monomer out, see, it's completely saturated, okay? Once you tap it on this side, there's still monomer there, but not a lot. Now you've moved it to the other side of your brush. So what I like, instead of having to flip your brush, I tap it like right here. So when I go in with my powder, the monomer's already on this side and I don't have to flip it back and forth. Some people like to flip it, and I just think that's an extra step I don't want to do until I go to look at the bead. So, there's a bunch in there. I'm going to tap real lightly in the middle. Now, all that monomer's on this side instead of this side, right? So now, because I tapped it on this side, when I go in to do my bead at a 45-degree angle, I don't have to twist it. So, we're just going to go ahead and I'm just going to bounce. But here's what I used to do. That's what I used to do, guys. Now, here's the thing. You want all of your acrylic to be on one side of your brush. You don't want it to be on this side too. You want it to stay on one side of your brush. But that's what I used to do. You see how flat the bead is? Can you see that? You see how flat the bead is? You want a little bit more structure, and that's why I wasn't getting very big beads. Okay? And I was putting too much pressure in there, so it really wasn't great. So, once again, here's what I really want to do. So that's how I used to do it, okay? Hi, Cordy Love. PTSD, hi! I miss you too. Yay! Congratulations. I can't wait. I can't wait. Hi, Nicole. If I missed anybody. Hi, Cola. We're just practicing some acrylic, guys. We're also going to be doing it on some nails as well. But I wanted to kind of show you what I used to do. And the reason why I really wasn't... I could snatch nails, but they were still kind of bumpy and stuff. But I want to up my acrylic game. So I thought, you know what? I have been practicing. So I'm going to... yeah. But that's what... here's what I used to do, guys. So I would take my brush, right? It's got all my liquid. And I would swipe it like that. And damn near swipe everything out of my brush. And then I would take it and just go like this. Look. Look how much of all that is not polymerizing. Because it's on the other side of the brush. See that? And look. I want to show you guys something. If it'll go. Right here. If you can see where all them little like bumpies are. Where all that dried acrylic is, right here in the middle of the barrel of your brush, that makes for acrylic getting stuck in your brush. And you see how flat it is still, right? Watch, it won't even come off my brush because my brush is not saturated enough. You see that? Now I have to make it come off my brush, and then you get a lot on this side and this side. That's what I used to do, guys. That's not what you want to do. I'm going to clean my brush, though. And you want to make sure you clean it after every time. And I just do this. But that is not how you do it. I've gotten better over the years, but that's how I used to do it. And it was horrifying because my beads were so flat, I wouldn't get nowhere, right? So, I'm going to show you how I started to do it. So, I burnt my brush, get all them bubbles out of there. Okay. Right? Up. Tap once at the end. There's enough on here for me to do. I'm going to go in at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to go 1, 2. That one, still crappy. But came right off the brush. I think that for me, I want to like, because you want your beads to have a nice thickness to them so you can work them down the nail. And I'm going to try this one. I'm going to show you this one. So you can either do the tap method where you tap it on the side. You can tap it at the end here. You can tap it in the middle for a middle bead. And then you can tap it right here for a small bead. I don't know how much people say don't do this. People say don't do that. So it's either or, guys. Just do what's comfortable for you, you know? So this one is a much thinner and smaller brush. So therefore, it's not going to hold as much liquid as my other brushes will, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and tap once. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Ooh, look at that one. Look, it's polymerizing really nicely. It's only on one side of my brush, y'all. Ooh, it's glossy. Let's put her down. She should just come right off my brush. Woo! Look at that bead, baby. That bead right there is what y'all want. That was a perfect large bead. Look at that. Look at the depth to that bead, and look how flat these are. See the depth to that bead, guys? It's a lot. The height of it is a lot higher. We are doing it. And that's a skinnier brush, and I had a lot better time with this brush than I did the other brush, because this brush is great and it works well. However, this one's a lot longer, so it gives you a little bit more play within the powder. Does that make sense? Alright, so let's try this again, shall we? We're going to go for a big bead, right? So I'm going to lightly tap the free edge of the brush there. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Woo! Look at that. That's a huge bead, y'all. Look. See the other side? You see that? That's too much monomer. Look, it's about to drip. It's not dripping, but it's about to. But that's too much monomer. Watch. It won't even come off my brush. I mean, it will. Left stuff on both sides of your brush. That's not what you want. But that's still a big bead, and you can still use it. But that first one, or this one right here, was the perfect bead. That was a perfect bead. Perfect bead, y'all. Let's do small bead, shall we? So I want to use all these different brushes. So I used to take this, and I used to go boop like that. So I would just go from barrel to end. Let's see. And so look, because I did it like this, I have to flip my brush upside down because the monomer's on this side, because I took it all out of this side. That's what I hated about it. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's not a bad brush. That's not a bad bead. We're going to let it polymerize. It's getting glossy. Once it gets glossy, then you're good to go. And you're going to put it down. Wait. 1, 2. Off. If it slides off your brush, you have minimal stuff on your brush, you're going to go through a lot less monomer and a lot less acrylic powder. That was a great one, by the way. I think the counting method works better because I'm getting better beads when I'm counting like that. It's all about repetition too, I guess. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to go like that. So we're going to do up here where you guys can see, I'm going to go small, medium, and then we'll do large over here. Okay. So for each brush, for the 14, the 12, and this one I'm just going to say it's a 10 just because it's so small. So we're going to do beads with each brush. Okay. So I'm just going to say this one's a 10 because it's damn near a 10. So I'm going to put this here so can you guys see me do this? Do you want me to zoom in? Would you like me to zoom? We're also going to be doing other colors. We're going to be doing glow in the dark. We're going to be doing chunky, glitter, shimmer, covers. So right now we're going to do one with some cover. Okay, so we're going to use this guy. We're going to act like this is a number 10 because it basically is. Alright, so we're going to do small over here. Okay. So small, for me, I think one bounce, one tap in your powder should be all that you need, guys. Okay? So I'm going to take my thing, invert my brush, right? And I'm going to tap right here. Okay? Just a light tap. The more pressure you put on the tap, the more monomer gets released. Okay? So I don't have to flip my brush. As you can see, here's the flat. This edge is flat. This one's holding the monomer. See the difference here? Look at the edge. Look at the bevel. This one's flat because that's the side I used to take the monomer out, but this side still has all the monomer in it. You see that? So the side that has the monomer, we're just going to tap once at a 45-degree angle in the powder. So we're going to go 1. That's how it should be. Looky. I knew it. Okay, alright. She's getting glossy. See where there's no excess powder along the edges? That means there's enough monomer in here to supply the entire bead. See that? And then you can turn it over and it won't fall off either. It's on one side of my brush only. Let's put her down. 1, 2. She should come right off. Yes, baby. We are practicing together. All right, so that's this brush. Okay. Just going to clean her. Make sure she's clean. All right, there's that one. Now let's go ahead and do this one. This is the number 12. All right, let's burp her. Let's take our powder. Make sure she's good to go. All right, so remember, we're going to do all small beads, okay? So she's burped, ready to go. I'm going to pat right here, okay? So majority of the liquid's out, but it's still at the free edge of my brush, okay? So I'm going to pat once. Okay, see that? She's flat, but she's beveled here. So that means the liquid is still right here in this area, general area that you need. Okay? So, once again, 45-degree angle. We're going to tap once for a small bead. Okay. Ooh, that's still really nice height on that bead, though. I usually get quite a few flat beads off this brush, but I've also trained it in a weird way. But as you can see, there's no dryness around the bead, and it's only on one side. She's also now super shiny. So let's put her down. 1, 2, and then it should let off the brush. Woo! Look at that, baby. It's a little bit bigger than it should have because my brush is so flat. So you can absolutely tell the difference between this flat of a brush. See how small? See how big? See the difference there? So the difference is going to be with your brushes. You can probably minimize that if you... Let me clean this out. Okay, you can probably minimize that without flattening it out. Let me try that again. Okay. But because mine's so flat, because that's the way I've trained it, we're going to go once. Okay. She is flatter, as you can see. So we're going to go 1. Okay. Same thing. It's just not going to be as a round little ball like this one. It's going to be a little bit more oval, but it's the same amount of powder on one side. Set down. 1, 2. Release. Yes, baby. Count 1, 2, baby, and it should release. It's only seconds. Okay. Do I like this brush? I do. But I really want beads that are a lot higher and thicker. And so everything plays a role. So make sure you keep... Alright. This one is my baby. My number 12 bestie brush from Nailmate. We're going to go ahead and... She is a thick... Look at this. Look how thick she is. See how big? Look how thick. Alright. Let's try this, baby. Alright. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do a small bead. I'm doing small beads with every single size so you can see the difference in the sizes of the brushes because they're not created equal. Hi, everybody. Sorry if I am not seeing everybody. Ava May, hello. Brandy, hi. Yes, I feel like when you, because I always had I would always forget, too, about flipping my brush, and I hated it. So I'm like, if I just tap on this side, by the time I go in my powder, I'm not going to have to flip it. It's just already there. So I feel that's the best way to do it, but that's me. You can try it. All right, so we're going to burp it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can burp it as much as you want, y'all. All right, we got her nicely saturated. Okay, we're going to go 1 on this side. As you can see, we have the full monomer on this side. Okay, this is the side we burped. All right, let's go in 45-degree angle. 1. Now oh, look at that perfect bead, everybody. She has height all the way around. She's not super flat. She's going nice. It's got enough in there. All right, let's put her down. 1, 2, let up. Yes, girl. Okay, the better the brush, if you have a pure 100% Kolinsky brush, it's going to come right off your brush, you guys. You won't have any issues with it sticking, staying on your brush, and all of that. Look at that. That. Yes, girl. That bead right there, baby. All right, that's the number 12. Let's go in with our number 14. which, as like I showed before, my number 14 is kind of like my 12, but my 12 is bigger than my 14, but this one's longer. So this one's long like this one. It's not short like these ones. Okay, see the difference there? Alright, let's go in with our 14. Same thing, burp the brush. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing, pat. Okay, I did that one too far up. We're all human, so it's all gonna, like, you know, we're gonna burp, boop. Nice curve to the side that we need it on, and this side's flat. Alright. We're gonna go 1. Ooh, look at that, guys. Ah. Oh, yeah. Okay. One side, look at that. We don't have nothing on the other side. It's getting glossy. Let's put her down. 1, 2, let off. Woo! Now, this is only one pat. So, if this is one pat, you'll see they should just lightly go up as we go. So, a medium's 2 tap, a large is 3 taps or 4 taps, depending on how big you want the bead to be. This is all, like, this is what I've been trying to practice because the way I was doing it was not great, and I just couldn't get it, guys. I would have to do, you can do as many beads as you want, okay? You can, oh, hi, Bramble! You can do as many beads as you want to get through. Just make sure, the major thing with acrylic is to make sure that your structure is on the nail. The structure is going to make it to where your nail does not snap. So the structure is the most important part when you're laying it on a nail. Okay? Alright, so we used all 4 of those brushes. And we used little, like super small to, let me show this guy. This is the retarded brush from Born Pretty. That was $4. Let's see what we get with this guy. Let's see. If we can work with this crappy brush, we can work with anything. Alright, we burped her. Okay. Pat. Alright, here she is. 1 bounce. That wasn't bad, y'all. I feel like with this method, it works with everything. Alright, she's getting shiny. We're going to put her down. 1, 2. Well, that kind of stuck to the brush, as you've seen. But with these brushes, most of it will stick in the brush because it's synthetic. Not all synthetics are created equal either. It just depends on the brush. And they make it look like, because, look. Oh, did you see that? You see how they weren't like my other brush? I still have acrylic in this. Look at this. Okay? So, they make it look like it's Kolinsky because it's dyed darker, but this is not real Kolinsky, okay? It's not. It's just not. It's just not. I like this one, but I like those. You can get bigger, so if you want a smaller one, right, guys? Let's try a bigger brush and try to get a smaller one. So I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to try to get a little bit of a smaller brush. So I'm going to actually tap as much out and hold it there for a little bit longer than normal. Okay. Because my brush is still big. So I'm going to hold it less. So I'm going to go 1 and hold up. Okay. So that was literally just a second of a tap to make it smaller. Like, this would be like a cuticle bead, guys. But a cuticle bead, you want it to be not as... Alright, 1, 2, let go. Alright. So, pretty much, I think that you can make it as much as you want. You just want that thickness in your bead so you can then walk it down the areas that you need, walk it down, and it gives it enough strength and structure without you having to put a whole bunch of beads on there. I used to put 500 million beads on mine, just so you guys are aware. I really have. Ask any one of these ladies that have been in here that have seen me do acrylic. I just thought it would be cool to practice. So let's go through, let's do our small, or our medium and our large beads with all the different sizes and see what they come out like. And then we'll just use one brush for the rest of these glitters and regulars. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a different one. So this one's Mia's Secret. So with Mia's Secret, it does dry very fast. Faster. So the temperature needs to be perfect for it. Let's go ahead and use this nail house color. Cerise, I think is what it's called. I'm not sure. Never used this before in my life, guys. Hi, Devea. How are you? Olivia, hello. No worries, babe. I'll make sure to put the link in here, guys. I don't have it on this phone right now, or I would add it to the... Alright, so this one is a different consistency because this is a different brand. However, we're going to go ahead and start with this one, which we're going to call our number 10. Same thing. And you saw me shake that. You want to make sure if any acrylic, whether it be cover powders, especially glitter and especially shimmer powders, make sure you stir and shake very well. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to pat. Alright. I still feel like I have way more liquid in there. Alright, there we go. So I patted on this side. We have a nice arch on the side that we need to pick up the powder with. We're going to go at a 45-degree angle. 1, 2. Oh my Lanta, Georgia. Look at that bead, y'all. Let it go glossy. Alright, nice. On one side of the brush. Let's put her down. 1, 2. Let go. Yes. Look at that bead. Look at that bead. 2 taps is a medium bead, y'all. Wow. Alright, Crystal. Let's do this. I feel confident now. I mean, I felt confident before, but... Alright, let's do our number 12. This is Amazon brush. Kimsky. Alright, if you can tell, I love rainbow, so. Alright, same thing. We're going to pat. But this time it's going to be different. You can actually use the same amount if you just do this. You just saw me do that, right? And that was pretty much the same amount of monomer. But you're doing 2 taps, so obviously you're adding on top of the bead. Right? So each bead, you're going to go 1 tap, and then it's going to go on top of the other. But I've seen people go like this. I've seen people tap. So let's take this one, and let's do about halfway. So from half of the barrel down. Okay? Because the monomer is still going to be in your brush, guys. So we're going to go like that. I feel like... Alright. That should be good. Let's see. But sliding it like that makes us have to turn it. That's why I don't do that. Okay? So we're going to go 1, 2. I'm still getting the same bead. Now, this one takes a little bit longer to polymerize a little bit, but you can go like this, turn it over, tap it, and it should go glossy for you. 1, 2, slide off. That's a medium bead. Look at that. I'm going to do it the way that I like to do it here. Alright, burp the brush. We're going to tap in the middle. Flat. We have a nice dome on this side, so we don't have to turn it because we tapped it on this side, so we can go like this. Over like this. So we're going to go, see how like flat my brush is? That's what's going to give you these beads like this. Okay? If it's not, that's what's going to give you, see? This one's not super like sprawled out like my other brushes are. So that's why you're going to get a bead like that every time. This one you're going to have a little bit wider because of how flat my brushes are. Does that make sense? Alright, same thing. Medium bead, tap. We have a nice arch. This is flat. 1, 2. Now, I wanted to show you this. Do you see how far that is? See how flat? See how dry it is still? And see how much that goes to almost to the middle of my brush? That's still dry around there. It's getting there, right? It's getting there, but that's not a good bead at all. At all, because there's not enough monomer to polymerize the entire bead all the way through. Can you still work with it? Yes, you can. I've done it a million times. 1, 2. Look. Look at that. I have to make it come off my brush. If you have to put pressure to make it come off your brush, you did not have enough monomer in your brush. Because it should just... You've seen me do that. Look at that. You've seen me do those. It should not look like that. It should always look like that. It should just be able to fall right off your brush with very minimal pressure. Let's try that again. Alright. Burp. This time I'm not going to sprawl it out so much and see what I get. Tap. Tiny tap. Right? So I'm just checking to make sure I have a good amount in there. Alright, ready? So 45. If you go flat, this is what happens when you go flat and not actual 45-degree angle. 1, 2. See what happens? That's what happens. Yes, you'll still get a bead, but look at all that you have that's going to stay in your brush. That's a flat. Like, it's not going in an actual 45-degree angle. All you want to do is use the tip of your brush. That's it. You don't want to use any of this while you're getting a bead. So this guy, I'm just going to put him on top of that and then clean my brush out because I had all that on there. Does that make sense, everybody? I hope it makes sense, guys. Please let me know in the chat if that makes sense. And if not, that's okay too. I'm just an enthusiast, and I figured I could do this, and you guys could always refer back to this live to help you guys. Alright, you see how flat this is? Alright, let's try this again. This is with our first number 12. So we're going to have to, this is the number 10. This is the first one I did. We're going to do this again. Burp the brush. Get all the bubbles out. We're going to, okay. Now I don't have to turn my brush like I was doing, which is great. So we're going to go at a 45-degree angle, which is like this. And we're only going to use the very edge of the brush. Okay, so about from here down. That's it. You're not going to use this brush. The only time you use the middle of your brush, the barrel of your brush, is when you're on the nail. Okay, so let's go in. 45. 1, 2. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Alright. This one takes a little bit longer to polymerize, but you can always tap your brush. See how it goes glossy? Boom. 1, 2. Slide off. Yes, girl. Alright. You should have very minimal acrylic on your brush, guys. Alright. Because I did that one, look. Remember when I got that one all the way up? I got some acrylic in my brush. So, because I can see that, I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to go ahead and run my finger through this part of my brush here. So I know I'm grabbing it. Okay, got it out. And I lost the bristle. That's okay. Alright. So let's go ahead and go in with this number 12, which is my nail mate, which is the big one. This hair is driving me bonkers. Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay. Pulled him right out. Alright, let's flatten this big guy. And we're going to go in with a medium bead. Okay. So a lot of it's going to be like repetition, guys. Once you get the hang of it, then your mind and your brain and your eye and hand coordination are all going to work together to just do it. So the more you keep practicing, especially beads, the better off you're going to be. Okay, ready? 1, right in the middle. So we're going to go in at a 45-degree angle. 1, 2. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. She's beautiful. Let her polymerize. Look at that. One side of my brush. Yes. Let's put her down. 1, 2. Slide off, baby. Yes. And then clean your brush after every time. All right. There's our medium. They're a little chaotic, but that's kind of how I am, so it's okay. As long as we get the little amount down. All right, burp this. This is a size 14, but this acts more like a 12. No big deal. All right, ready? one in the middle. So we tapped. Got a nice little bevel at the bottom there. Go at a 45-degree angle. 1, 2. Ooh, we got some height. Got a nice depth to her. Okay. Great. We're going to let her polymerize. There she goes, glossy. Let's put her down. 1, 2, slide off. Yes. Whoop, whoop. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Hi, Maria. I don't know. Shout out to everybody in here. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you guys like nails, my name is Sugar. It's nice to meet you. We're just practicing today. And I'm showing you different brushes, different sizes, because they're not all created equal. So I figured it would be fun to show you the different types, you know? Alright, let's go ahead and do this again. Let's do a large. Now we're going to go into our large bead. Okay? So, I'm going to kind of move this guy. Well, I'll do it in the middle. Alright, so for the large one, let's go ahead and let's use some clear. Ah! Gotta put this guy on. Let's use some clear for our large bead. That'll be like our core powders. That way you can see what the clear does as well. Alright, we are using Nailmate Clear. Alright, we're going to start with our number 12, which we're going to just say is a number 10, okay? So same thing, we're going to burp our brush. Alright, we're going to just tap once, guys. But this time, okay, we're doing a large. So this time, we're just going to tap lightly at the very edge. Boop. Real lightly. Okay? The amount of pressure that you do is going to also be what makes the difference too. I've never came across a live stream for nails before. Oh, wow. Well, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Is it Lena? Laney. Alright, let's do that again. So, we're going to go ahead and burp it. And then what I'm going to do is, for anybody that's new in here, we are practicing acrylic powder. So this is a late night nail therapy sesh, but with sugar, but we're practicing with acrylic. I will be practicing with all these other colors and glitters, as well as we're going to be also doing it on nails too, so we can see if we got better. So hopefully that this method works for you guys. If it doesn't work for you guys, that's okay too. Hi, Sophie. If it doesn't work for you guys, that's okay. I'm just a, nail enthusiast, but I want to practice and I want to get better, and I hope that maybe this technique, the way that I found to be helpful, maybe it'll help you guys. I hope so. Alright, I'm going to burp my brush. Alright, same thing. With this one, though, we're going to tap lightly at the edge. Just lightly. Because we want a big bead. Okay, so for a large bead, we're going to count 3 times, okay? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now, I wanted to show you this. Look at that. The reason why it looks like that is because I put too much pressure when I was bouncing in the powder. Okay, so that's our bead. She does look nice. You can still use her. So this is a large bead. 1, 2, pop off. See how she kind of sat on my brush right here, and there's product right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there is still product on my brush. Alright, but the reason why I still have product like that is because I pushed so hard in the powder. You should just have to bounce it. You shouldn't have to push. Okay, you should not have to push. Okay, so let's try this again. We're gonna go 1. Okay, so all the monomer I got out of this side, but we have it on the side that we need. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. There we go. Look at that. Nice round bead polymerized on one side. Alright, let's let her off. 1, 2, boom. That's a little bit smaller of a bead. Do you see the smallness of that bead though? This bead and this bead look the same, but this one is a little bit bigger. The reason why this one's huge is because, like I said, I put pressure in it. So the more pressure you do, the bigger your bead's going to be. Now, but does that mean it's going to be a good ratio in terms of you being able to use it on the nail? Depends. It just depends. But if all of your beads, like with this brush, let me show you. So with this brush, this was my first bead with this brush. This is my small bead. This is my medium bead. And this is my large bead. You see how it gradually gets bigger as you go? Now, with different brushes, they're going to be different. Like I've shown you. If they're flatter, they're going to be longer this way. If they're like this, they're going to be a nice round texture. Alright, so that one was our size 10. But it's a 12. Alright, so here's our size 12. Let's do this again. Burp your brush, especially with clear. Clear is your strength powder, guys. Okay? So that's what you're going to cap all your glitters in. You don't need to build the nail with your glitters. You can just do a light thing with that. Alright, ready? We got her nice and, you know, saturated. We're going to go boop. Let's try this one. Alright, 45-degree angle. We're just going to lightly tap. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, all my beads have been a little bit flat with this brush, but that's not bad, but that's not as big as I expected it to be. 1, 2, let off. Alright. So you want it to bounce back, okay? You don't, if you see like a big puddle ring around your acrylic powder, that means you have way too much monomer. But if it looks like this and it bounces off your brush when you let go of it, that means you had the perfect like ratio of acrylic and monomer to be able to polymerize the entire bead from the inside out. Does that make sense? I hope this makes sense, y'all. What is the liquid in the bowl? The liquid is not water, it is monomer. It is liquid monomer for acrylic powder when you do nails. Hi, Nails by Kay. How are you? Thanks for joining. Colette, hello. You've taught me so much. Aww. Yeah, I didn't know about the tapping either. I mean, I did, but like the tapping part really helped me because I was sitting here one night and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if me not tapping in the powder is what's like, here, I'll show you what I used to do. Here's what I used to do, guys. I would take my brush, and I just kind of dove in head first. I didn't really do any technique. So I just kind of do this, and I would just do this. Did you see how fast I did that? But you don't know how much monomer you're actually taking out of your brush. And then, because I slid it, I would have to then turn it. And sometimes I wouldn't. So because I wouldn't turn it, my monomer's on this side, not the side I'm putting down in the powder. And then I'd go like this. Look how flat that is. That's how my beads were coming out. Like, seriously, it was so bad. And I would keep having to build my nail. Listen, I can snatch a nail up, and I got better as the years went on, but I want to get like better. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I used to do. So, I'm trying this new way because I'm like, if I just tap it and then go in with my brush, I wonder how better off I would be getting a nice, thicker bead that I know I'm going to be able to work down the nail and have enough to work down the nail. Because if it's super flat, then you're not going to be able to work it down the nail as far as you need it to. Does that make sense? And it's going to be very thin, and depending on what you're doing and what acrylic you're working with, it all depends. Everything works together as one. Not as one, but like it all works together to function properly so you can have a beautiful nail, right? But yeah, so let's go ahead and do this one now with this one. This is the Kimsky size 12. All right, we have her nice and saturated. We are going to, we're supposedly supposed to be doing a large, so I think a large bead should be 4 taps if you want it to be large, but if you think about it and you have a nail, right, your nail is not that, like, big, right? Your nail's, 9 times out of 10, a beginner is not going to use this long of a nail. So you also have to keep that in mind. But you just want your small, your medium, and your large to gradually go up. You know what I mean? You just want to make sure your medium's bigger than your small, just a little bit, and your large is bigger than your medium, just a little bit. All right, let's do this again. Let's tap in the middle. No, I'm going to barely tap because we're doing a large. So I'm just going to lightly tap, and I don't have to switch. All right, ready? We're going to go 45. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I always get with this one, like I said, that's a large bead. Polymerized really nicely. It's on one side of my brush. Let's take her 1, 2, slide off. Yes, girl. You don't need to push down, guys. If you push down, you're going to smash it into your brush. You don't want to do that. And that's what I was doing. I was smashing it into my brush. Hi, Adley. I was literally smashing it into my brush. Now I see. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers. Make sure you like and subscribe. But thank you. Comment if you're new. I would like... My name is Sugar. It's nice to meet you guys. We are doing a little... practice with acrylic with different brushes right now, just so I can show you guys the difference between brushes and powders. Alright, next up is going to be our number 12. This is going to be our big mamma jamma. So this one's actually going to be super big. So we're going to burp our brush. Okay. Look at this. Alright, nice. She's nice and full. You see the difference? Both sides are nice and beveled with that monomer. Okay, so whatever side you're going to burp it on is the side that you don't pick up the powder with. Alright, I don't care, but you're seeing it firsthand. If you burp your brush like this, boop, and then you go in and use the same side that you took that monomer out on, you're not going to get that great of a bead, right? So when I do that, that means I have moved all that monomer to this side, the other side, the bottom half of my brush, the other side, the whole thing, but it's also at the edge. Okay, you want your monomer at your edge, so I don't have to flip my brush. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna go 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that is a big bead, everybody. Do you see this excess I got right here? Because, you know, I moved the powder like a goober, but that's okay. One side, she's not dripping. Wait, 1, 2, and let off. Yes. Okay. We're going to clean the brush after each time, guys. Another thing I wanted to show you guys too. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to just make sure my brush is clean. So, one thing I wanted to also say is the amount of monomer. You're going to see the amount of monomer and product that's on your paper towel. You're going to be able to see how much you're actually going through. If you're going through a bunch of monomer and a bunch of powder, and you have a bunch all over this, look, I barely have anything on my towel. Just by doing these, I barely have anything on my towel, guys. You see that? So when I keep going in and cleaning my brush, I'm not going back in and putting whatever's on here on my brush, because there's not that much on my towel. Does that make sense? Hi, Maria. Hi, Angela. How to grab monomer, pick up, let go. I think so, but I never did that. I am showing now the way I want to do it, because when I was like I was telling them, I was sliding it, and I just was going in and just sliding it. One day I would slide it, one day I would like tap on this side, then I would tap on this side, and like, it sucked. Okay, and I could build a nail, yes, but it wasn't that great. So I want to get better. I want to practice. But I don't want to have to turn my brush. Okay? I don't want to have to flip my brush and then go into powder. I hate that. Drives me bonkers. So I'm not going to do that, because this is what I do. You don't have to do what I do, but young nails, they like flip their brush and whatever. I don't know the exact technique, but I don't want to flip my brush. So, we're going to clear our powder. Okay? Right? So, I'm going to take this and I'm going to lightly just tap. And I'm going to not flip my brush. I'm going to go in. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Let's try a really big bead. It's on one side. 1, 2, let off. Ta-da! You shouldn't have to press it. Here's what I used to do. Here's what I used to do. I would take it and I go boop. I would go in like this. Look how flat that is. And then, right? And then I would do this. You see that? Look at that. Not only did that get in my brush, but I just, like, the amount of pressure that I used, like, to brush it down. Look, I have all this right here. All that is now inside my brush because of the amount of pressure I used to then swipe it down like that. So that's what I used to do, and it would suck because it was so thin and it just wasn't a great bead at all, and it just sucked. And I want to get better, so that's what I'm doing. So I figured if I tried it this way and just kind of did a little bead to ratio thingy-majigger bobber, and I wanted to show that not all brushes are created equal. They might have, this one's a 14, but it looks like a 12. This one's a 12 and looks like a 14. This one's a 12 and is really short. This one's a 12, but it looks like a 10 and it's really long. They're all crimped except for this one. So it being crimped is different than it being not crimped. And it's just a preference, guys. It all works differently. Right? So that is that for that. So brushes. The other ones I'm going to go ahead and put away. And I am going to do, so that is the small, medium, and large. If they gradually go up, ooh, let me do a big one real quick. Let's try to do a big one, shall we? I hate flipping it. Because, okay, here's the thing. I would always forget to flip, but then I would be mad at myself because I didn't flip. And then on the side that I, like, didn't flip, that was the side I needed, if that makes sense, because I drained out all the liquid. So when you go to tap your brush on this side, you're making the liquid come to the opposite edge, the opposite side of your brush. Does that make sense? This is what I've seen and I noticed myself doing. And the thing with that, I'm going to add some more monomer because I'm getting low. And if you get low and you have just a tiny bit of monomer in there like this, you're not going to be able to pick up a good bead. So just remember that, guys. Refresh it. You don't need a crap ton in there, just a little bit. Enough so it burps your brush good. But here, like, I would take it and do this. And the thing is I would take my brush and I would lightly or whatever, not even lightly. I would do it very, like, I'm heavy-handed. So I would take it and I'd go all the way out and I'd flip it, but, like, I wouldn't. So I took all that monomer out of this side and then I would go in with the powder and try to get my bead and then wonder why my bead wasn't working right. You know what I mean? So I don't know why I did that. I just went in, like, I just dove in and just did it how I did it. I didn't really sit down and actually practice, guys. So now I am. I'm using Young Nails because Young Nails monomer is a little bit loud. However, I've gotten used to it and it doesn't give me headaches. It doesn't break me out. And also, it's universal to where it works with a lot of powders. So that's why I use that one. But I haven't used a lot of, I will say I have not used a lot of monomers. I've used Mia Secret. I tried Kiara Sky, but Kiara Sky is too much for me. It made me sick. So I can't use that one. I'm just sensitive girly over here, just so you guys know. But it wasn't anything. It was just, I'm very sensitive to it. So I do know that Nail Mate is Glitter Planet. Oh, I want to try hers so bad. And Glitter Bells has the Hema-free one, which I want to try as well. But I've heard Bexy Glow is good. I'm not sure, though. And V Beardy Pure, I think theirs is good, too. Hi, Storms. Hi, Layla. Alright, so I want to do a really big one. So I'm going to take my beautiful, amazing brush, okay? And I'm just going to lightly tap. I'm going to lightly tap the very tip of my brush. Because I want to do a huge, but here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to try this huge one. Tap real quick. Let's do 5 taps and see what that gets us, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! Look at that. Holy shnikes. Look at that. That's got a lot of monomer in it. Let's put her down. 1, 2. Ah, yeah! That is freaking humongous. But one thing I did notice. Is you will see, look, this, you see how they don't have anything in the middle? This will snap back. You know what I mean? It'll, once it, like, you know, soaks up everything, you put it down. Once you put it down and you let off, all of that will kind of soak up into each other like this. Okay? So it's not going to, you know, but here's what it looks like with a lot of monomer and not a lot of acrylic. Okay? So we're going to just, right? We're going to go ahead and put it down. See that? Let's do this again. Gonna lightly do it. I'm gonna try to take it off here. I did take it off, but here's the difference, guys. This is what I noticed. Look at this. Do you see the ring around this one? But you don't see them around these ones? That ring means you have too much monomer in your bead. These ones don't have that. Look, even this big one doesn't have that. But this one does. And because it wouldn't come off my brush, I had to put a little bit of pressure, meaning I had to, like, then tap my brush in the middle to get it off my brush. So there's the difference. Beautiful ratio of monomer and acrylic powder ratio to you have too much monomer. You see that? So you can tell a difference. If you're practicing, you will be able to tell a difference between what your beads are doing, if that makes sense, you know? So, I'm going to go ahead and let's use some glitter. Let's see what our glitter looks like with 1, 2, 3 tappy. Tappy, 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 as Zule says. Tappy, tappy, tappy. I love when she says that. Tappy, tappy, tappy. Alright, what do you guys think so far? Thanks, GLAM. Hi, Nick. Hi, Storms. I don't know. I bought mine off Amazon. And so I wasn't sure if the one that I bought off Amazon, because I did not buy it off their website. So that is a disclaimer, everybody. I didn't buy it off their website. I bought it off Amazon. So it could have been, you know what I mean? I thought it was like one of those things where somebody put something else in there but disguised it as Kiara Sky, because everybody was telling me that Kiara Sky was not like harsh smelling or loud. But man, as soon as I opened it up, it lingered in here for 3 days. I swear to you. I even opened it live. I even did it live, but I was so sick after that. E-nail, let's see. Your favorite monomers are Young Nails, Kiara Sky, E-nail Couture, Not Polished, and McCart. Every other brand I've used are not versatile like these. Oh, okay. Okay. It helps because if you keep wiping on, yes. You always wanna make sure you're wiping not in the same spot. But I didn't have a lot on here, so I kept using this point. I have nothing here. I have a little bit here from where I was cleaning my brush. But for the most part, I have extra paper towels here. So this is the Viva. I use the Viva paper towels for regular, but because I have these blue ones, they actually soak up a lot and I don't have to worry about it. But you don't want to keep doing it all in the same spot because you're just going to end up picking up what is on your paper towel. So that is a good tip. Thank you, Lovey. Thank you, Brandy. But yeah, I'm like, there's not a lot on here. As you guys can see, I used to have so much monomer and so much acrylic, like, that would come off the nail and stuff. Like, I was just wiping it off the nail, and it was everywhere. So, I was literally having to take it and go like this and, like, redo it. Because I'm kind of weird like that. I don't like to do it in the same spot where it gets so wet that it's, like, dripping with stuff. But for this one, there's not a lot on here, and this soaks up pretty well that I don't need to do that. So I can use multiple spots here, because this is still dry right here. But That is a good tip. Thank you, my love. Yes, you will get old acrylic stuck where your brush bristles are. Look what I just did. I just did that too. But like, I'm not a nail tech or anything, but I'm, you know, trying to get everything as much as I possibly can out of like me doing it, and hopefully you guys learn too. And you know, I don't like to have to turn my brush, so yeah, so that is the like small to medium to whatever to large. I mean, they're different sizes because I have different brushes, but the more pressure you use, the more like thinner it will be too. It could be. So it just depends. You guys will have to try it out for yourself and just kind of get comfortable with doing beads like this with glitters, with shimmers, with all kinds of different types of covers and clears. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do, let's do a big acrylic. Or a big acrylic. I'm going to use this color here. Okay. I'm going to shake her up. I made this color. Hi, Hilly. So, like, if you're doing this on a person, every person is different. Every nail bed is different. Everything is different for everybody. Not anybody is going to be able to do the same thing this other person did. Each person is going to take, if you take little tips from each person and just try it, add it in with yours, maybe that'll be better for you. You don't have to do everything my way that I'm showing here tonight, because I'm also doing new stuff tonight too. So you just want to practice. You want to just kind of take tips from different people, try a bunch of different things to see see what types of things you like and works best for you. And if this works good too, great. I hope it does. All right, so here's this guy. This is a beautiful bright yellow, and this is a chunky, like, glitter mix, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use this brush, and I'm going to use this brush. And we're going to try to get the bead ratios good, okay? But the one thing with these, so these versus covers. Covers you can build the nail with. Glitters, you don't want to build the nail with the glitter. The glitter is just like your background, your accent colors. To give you that nice, beautiful color. And then you build it with your clear, your structure. You want to build your structure with your clear. And so your glitter always has to be encapsulated. So it's not going to be like a structural type of powder. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm actually going to hold this guy. And I kind of I want to keep it on the same. This one is clear. Okay, so this one's made with clear. So this is glitter clear, no pigment. Okay. We're going to tap. We're going to do small. So we're going to tap once. I'm not going to have to switch it, which is great. So we're going to go in 45, and we're going to do one tap. One. See what I did? Oh my god, you can still use it, but do you see what happened there? See how that bead goes all the way to the middle of my brush? Damn near to the middle of my brush. That's not great. That's not great. But it still bounced back pretty nice. But, alright. Let's do this again. Burp it, burp it. We got it. Nice. Both ends. You see that? Nice. Nice rounded spots on both edges. Ready? We're going to go. Now it's flat. But she's nice and has a nice hump down here. You know, all the monomer is on this bottom side. So we're going to go in 45-degree angle. One tap. One. Ooh. Woohoo. Look at that. So pretty. One side. There she is. This is a small. So we're going to put her here. 1, 2. Let off. Hee. Yay! Let's do a medium while we're here. We're going to clean our brush right here, because I don't have anything there, so. Alright, let's do our medium. Okay, ready? We're going to tap in the middle. Okay, ready? We're going to do one. One. Whoa, look at all that. Look at that chunkiness, everybody. And then we're going to tap again. I forgot we were doing medium. Oh, I was so mesmerized by the chunky. That's not the greatest, but that's okay. Damn it. Come on, Crystal, get it together. Alright. Tap in the middle once. I'm gonna go 1, 2. There we go. Look at that nice, beautiful bead. She's polymerizing. One side of my brush. 1, 2. Let off. Yes, darling. We're going to do 3 taps for a large. And for a large, I'm just going to do down here. But I want to try something, you guys, because I think I can do it in the middle and still get the same result. I think I can do it in the middle and get the same result. I use the blue shop towels from the automotive section. Yeah, I got these ones from my husband's workplace, and they just have these little quilted things in them, and they don't like go through to your desk either. So they're really, really nice. I like them a lot. Excuse me. I will say enamel cart monomer is not the best for beginners unless they want to learn fast, because they're the most fast drying regular. Ah, gotcha. I've never used them, so I don't really know, but thank you for that, Angela. Appreciate it. Shout out to you. Be careful, Brandy, because a lot of those shop towels have chemicals added, so if you're working with someone who has sensitive skin, that can be problematic. That is true. Now, I don't know what they use with these, but practice-wise, I think they're great for practicing, but on me, I just use the Viva paper towels. Hi, is it JC? Hi, Cam. You love doing nails? Yay, me too. All right, let's do our big one now. So we're going to just lightly tap the edge. Boop. And we're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I just hit it. Sorry, guys. Look at that. Oh my god, I know. I pushed so hard, it is now on the other side of my brush. You see that? It's okay. Let's see if she'll come off. 1, 2. But the problem with that is, you see, I have a little bit here at the tip of my brush, but because I tapped so hard in the powder, I now have it on the other side of my brush. The goal is to not have anything on that side of your brush. You only want it, have minimal powder left on one side of your brush, not both. So just keep that in mind, guys. Okay? Keep that in mind, and then you want to make sure you clean it nice and nice. And I'm just going to go ahead and go through this. Alright, so there's your small. I messed up that one. Medium, and then your big. So it's mainly like, and I actually think, let me do something. Okay, we're going to go 1. I'm going to do another medium because I think that I messed that up. 1, 2. Okay, that's better. So, I think that, look, I think that I have a lot more monomer in this one. Let off, yeah. But that is a medium bead right there. So I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to go from here to here when I tap. Because that's going to be for our small bead. Boop. Tap 1 time. Just lightly. You don't need to tap a lot. And then we're going to tap 1 time in the powder and see what happens. 1. This is going to be our small bead. Ooh. 1 side. Perfect. And we're going to lay her down. 1, 2. Slide off. Alrighty, daddy. So, that is that one. We're going to clean. Thanks for, like, doing this with me, guys. I just wanted to show you, like, the difference between each, like, glitter and brush. Because each brush is not equal either. So, you know what I mean? So, now I'm going to use this bigger brush. And we're going to use a different glitter. So, we use this one. So, I'm going to set that up there. All the ones I use, I'm going to set up there. So, this time, let's use a shimmer, guys. So this is a mint green shimmer. Thanks. I made these ones. I made all of these right here that have this cap and this purple cap. I made them all. They are mine. Alright. I hate these little jars because they freaking leak so bad. I hate them. Don't buy them for acrylic. Alright, when you have shimmer, you want to shake and stir well, guys. Shake and stir well, because if not, they're not going to do great. Okay? I'm just going to go really fast. These were made with clear. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to make sure. Alright, ready? So we're going to use the big guy for this. Can you guys see okay? Shout out to everybody in here. Make sure you like and subscribe. We are practicing with sugar. Some acrylic powder beads. I'm gonna show you this one. And then I'm going to show you this one, because this has a lot of glitter in it. Like, I mean, this one is jam-packed full. That there's not a lot of clear in this one. There's more glitter than clear, but I added some to it. But this one is a very fine glitter. This is all fine. Extra fine and fine glitter. And then this one's your shimmer. So, let's take this number 12 brush, which is bigger than this brush, as you can see. For anybody new that's coming in. We're going to take this guy. And we are going to do the same thing, bead ratio, okay? So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to do a small. So I'm going to just, boop. But my brush is so big that I have to be careful. Okay, flat, but we have a bevel on the bottom side. She's flat on this side, but she's nice and rounded like this. Rounded. Flat. Alright, so let's go ahead. This one's going to be wider because of how my brush is. So we're going to go in at a 45, and we're going to do one bounce. One bounce. Look at that. Still has depth to her. She's nice. Look at that. She's polymerizing great. She's nice, and she is shiny. So you want to make sure she's shiny before you put her down. So we're going to go 1, 2, and let off. Yes, girl. Let's go ahead and do a medium. Okay, she's saturated. Now we're going to go to the middle. Boom. We're going to go 90. We're going to go 2 times. 1, 2. Whoa. Look at that. So it kind of fell on the other side when I moved it, but that's okay. There she is. She's shiny. 1, 2. Let off. And the longer you hold it in the powder, guys, the bigger your bead is going to be. So you don't need to hold it in there for very long. I held it in there so long that my medium became my large. You see what I mean? That's our small. That's our medium. But that's okay. That's okay. This is a very small, like, container, as you can see. So, bigger your brush, the more, like, not so great room you're gonna have. Hi, Robin. How are you? Alright, so let's do our 3 taps for the large bead. Ready? We got our fully saturated. And I'm just gonna do the tip 1. Just like that. Ready? So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Look at that. She definitely has enough monomer in there. Look at that. She's nice and glossy. She's on one side. 1, 2. Lift off. Yes. As you can see, they gradually get bigger each time, which is what you want, right? So that's a shimmer powder. This is glitters. And this is with a smaller brush compared to a fatter brush. See the difference here? So that's why I wanted to do this with you guys. So let's do an extra large. Okay. So I'm going to barely tap just a little. Just a tibby bit, because we want to do extra, right? But you need to tap enough, but not too much, because we don't want that monomer dripping into our powder, right? So we're going to go boop. And we're going to tap 4 times this time. But the way that this powder is, I'm going to try it. Let me try to get it on its side here. Maybe I can get the powder better. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! Look at that! Wow. That is a huge bead, guys. Holy shnikes. Wow. But you do want... This is a perfect example of the beads layering on top of each other. So you have that nice amount of acrylic, you know, nice thickness of your bead. So we're going to go 1, 2, let off, boom. Look how big that is. But look, do you see that? That is really, really nice. Once you let your bead off, you shouldn't have to mess with it no more. But that's really, really nice. That's probably the best I've done in, like, I don't even know, since I started doing it this way. But I want to see something. Let me see something, though. I want to see if I can take the same amount of liquid, but just do the taps. 1, 2, you know, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I can get it the same and do the same thing without having to just do, oh, I'm only doing a little bit here. I'm only going halfway here. I'm doing the whole thing there. If I could just do it from the middle just like that, but still have the same outcome, that's going to be the bomb, right? So I'm going to use a different color for this one. So I'm going to use this blue one. Does that make sense? Hopefully that made sense, guys. Can you guys see okay, too? Thanks, Robin. Shout out to everybody in here. Alright. I'm going to do this one, and then we're going to go ahead and try on the nails. We're going to go ahead and build a nail. Because I think we've done enough beads to kind of get us a good amount of, you know, because I do have different nail types as well. I have coffin. And I also have coffin. I have 4X, 5X, 3X, coffin, square, stiletto, and moon shaped. Okay. So I'm going to take this guy. And like I said, I'm not going to worry about if I'm tapping off at the edge or the whole thing or the middle. I'm just going to do it. So your eye, your hand, and like the motion, the coordination of doing it, once you get it down pat, you'll just do it. You'll just literally do it. So I just want to know if I can do it from the middle, just like every time. Boop. Well, that was too much. Boop, just like that. And still do the beads I want to do. So let's tap once. 1. There's our small bead. Even though I did it in the middle for, you know, not a small bead, but I wanted to see. So 1, 2, let off. Okay. Let's get this going again. Alright, so this time I'm going to tap it in the same spot and see if I can get the same result for a medium bead. Is that making sense, everybody? Alright, so same thing. Boop, tap. We're going to do 1, 2. Look at that. I don't have to worry about doing it at the edge. I don't. I knew I wasn't going to have to. Okay, so that's on one side. Beautiful bead. 1, 2, let go. Perfect. Alright, let's do this again, because I'm pretty sure I don't have to worry about it. We're just going to tap right there. We're going to go in, and we're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. Here's our large bead. Look at that, baby. One side of my brush. Beautiful. Look at that. She's getting shiny. Let her get super glossy. Ta-da. We're going to lay her down. 1, 2. Let go. Dude, I'm telling you, you don't have to worry about if you're doing it at the edge for a large bead. Tapping it in the middle for a medium bead. Tapping it from here down for a large bead. You could just tap it. And it's the taps and the powders that make it small, medium, and large. So I'm not going to have that mind-bending whatever, like, ooh, did I do that right? Did I do it at the tip? Did I do it in the middle? I can just tap it in the middle and still do this. So you just add color to regular clear acrylic. I mean, yes. I used pigment for mine. You add clear, pigment, whatever color pigment, and white, depending on what color you want. or glitter. So those are my colors, guys. And I think, let me try to do a big one, doing the same method. So we're just going to tap right in the middle. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we have enough monomer in there, guys. See if she looks like she's polymerizing. Look at that. From the side here, look at the depth of the bead, though. The depth of it this way. She's only on one side. She's still polymerizing. She's nice and glossy. Let's put her down. 1, 2. Slide off. Yes, I knew it. I freaking knew it. I got it down to the way I want to. And I don't have to flip my brush. I don't have to flip my brush. That is the biggest thing that I did not want to do, is have to flip my brush. Flipping my brush always messed me up. So here's how I used to do my beads. I'm going to show the new ones coming in how I used to do this. I used to take my brush and I used to just slide. And then I would go in and I would just go doo-doo. And that was my bead. That is how every bead came out on my every single nail. And I was like, why am I not being able to build a nail? So, and then I would do that and it would get in my brush. So now that I'm doing it this way, I understand, and I don't have to flip my brush, so I don't have to worry about that. Because before I used to like worry about, ooh, am I flipping it on the right end? But then I wouldn't, and I wouldn't have enough monomer. And do you guys understand what I mean by that? Because when I do this, right, when I go in and tap on this one side, I'm tapping that monomer to the other side of your brush. Does that make sense? So when I tap this side, it's going to make it come off this side, and then it's going to pull on the bottom, which is a good thing. Okay? That's what I mean by that. But if you're sliding it, if you're somebody who slides it up against the edge, that's fine too, whatever works for you. But, like I said, when you have to slide it, you then, all your monomer's at the top here. You just took it out the bottom of your brush, right? So now, because we slid it on the jar, we now have to turn it over because we need that monomer where it's at on this side. We need that monomer, not the side that we took all that monomer off of. So we have now had to turn our brush to then go in and tap our beads. And to me, I hated doing it, and it drove me bonkers. So I don't do that now. So now I'm just going to do this. I'm going to, and you can tap either way, but even if I tap like this, right, I still have to turn my brush. So you want to use your left side. Your left side is going to make it to where you do not have to turn your brush over to then get your bead. If you use the right side, you will have to turn it over to then get your bead. Unless you're a lefty, then it's the reverse side. So does that make sense, everybody? So here, I'll do it again. So if you do the left side and you tap, boop, we do not have to turn our brush. We can just go straight into the powder, 45-degree angle, and do however many taps you need. We'll do a large. 1, 2, 3. That's our large bead. It's still going to polymerize. She's getting glossy. She has depth to her. She's only on one side. Boom. 1, 2, let off. And you should just be able to just boop, and it should let off. Look, you should only have minimal amount of acrylic left on your brush. You should have nothing on this side. We're going to clean. Go back in our monomer. Get that out. And we're going to clean again. Now that I have a bunch here, now I'm going to, not use this towel anymore. But, what do you guys think? I think, now let's go ahead and build our nail, and then we'll go from there. What color do you guys want to use? Okay, love. Thanks, Angela. I appreciate you very, very much. What color do we want to use to build the nail, guys? So this nail is a 4XL, and this is a coffin. So we're going to go ahead. Let's use a core powder to build our nail. So let's go ahead and use Nail House cover color just so it's easier to see. So we will build the nail with this. Okay. So I'm going to use this guy. And we don't, because we're using a core cover, we're not going to have to add clear to it. We can file if we want. You can add clear to it if you want to add some strength to it. And, you know, if you just want to add it, it's fine too. But you don't have to add it to a core cover powder, because this is a strength powder. Okay, your clear and your cover are your strength powders. Okay. If you're using we'll just use both. How about that? We'll do a little ombre. No, we'll just build the nail first and then we'll go into that after. So, what you want to do though is you want to make sure you have enough monomer in there so you can do a nail, guys. So I'm going to add a little bit more monomer. Just a little bit here so I know I have enough. Not a lot though, because you don't want to overflow. You don't want to fill it to the top, guys. You do not want to fill it to the top. I'm going to go ahead and move this over, out the way. Alright, here's my new towel. And we have our nice little finger here. Okay, we have this. So I'm going to use my little brush to do this. Okay, make sure she's clean. And then we have our powder. Okay, so there's our powder. Can you see okay? Or you want me to zoom in? Hi, Candy. How are you? How are you, my sweets? We just got done doing, like, practicing our acrylic beads. Here's our acrylic beads. And I feel so good. Like, yeah. So now we're going to go in and we're going to build a nail with just this one singular cover color. But do you guys want me to zoom in? I still want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing with the monomer, where my monomer is at and where I'm at. Okay. So we're going to build this nail with the bead method that I just did. That I think is the best. It's where I don't have to turn my brush. But if you have a long nail, you can use a bigger brush. You know what I mean? And you'll get it down. So I kind of want to try the 3 bead method. I want to see if I can do the 3 bead method, but you guys don't have to do that. I've never done the 3 bead method, guys. I've always just done however many beads necessary. Oh, you're okay, babe. No worries. No worries at all. I hope you have a good night, Angela. Alright. So, we're going to go ahead and burp my brush. So, here I am going to do the same thing. So, I'm going to tap, just like I should have. We're going to tap. Boop. I'm not going to have to switch like that. So now we're going to go ahead and, because this is a full cover nail, I want to start about here. Typically with a 3 bead, you would do it here and then here. But you can either work from the free edge and then move up and then this. But if you want to build an apex, I guess starting here and then trying to bring it all the way down would be a 2 bead, I guess. And then you do this and this. But I've never done it before, so we're just going to do it. So we're going to do, oh, I had a fuzzy. Okay, we're going to tap once. And I'm going to try the 3 bead. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a large bead. Let it polymerize. I'm going to take this side. And I'm going to allow the monomer to make this sticky. This is going to help it stick. Alright, let's... 1, 2. Look at that. Look at that. Clean my brush. Hold it down. And we're going to just tap. Okay? You want to make sure you tap, but you also want to make sure you're getting it from side to side. And I have another hair. Okay, so we're going to slide the sides down and then the middle. But I can't pat it down. I do not know how to pat it down all the way, you guys. I don't. I do not know how to pat it all the way down. So that's one thing I need to work on. And you want to keep your sides nice and tucked in. So I think for me, I don't know how people can do that. I'm not good at that. Like, 1, 2, 3. But at least it'll have enough structure. So we're going to take it right up over that. I've never worked with this powder before either, so bring that up. Bring it to the middle. And then I am going to lightly pull that up. And you're going to pat, though. Because, like I said, I am new to doing it this way. But we're going to pat that down. And I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to make sure I tuck that in. But do you see how the top of that is? You want that to actually melt into your powder. I guess I'm walking it down. Pull that in the middle. But because I did what I did with the first bead, I have a hump here. Okay? Which is not my fave. Because I am so used to the way that I have always done it that you don't want that hump. You don't want to be able to see that hump at all. One, two. At all. So I'm going to set this guy here. And I'm going to slightly push it up and over. And then I'm going to pull this down. While I'm holding it down. And we want to tuck it in as much as possible. And you want to take the body of your brush and run it down the side and clean up that back part. And then we're going to push that in so we don't have a big area. Okay. I mean, that wasn't bad, but that part wasn't too bad. But I don't like it, though. I don't lock it. See how she comes out? You can fix it with filing, but you want to make sure you do minimal. That you have to do minimal filing, guys. Like I said, we are just practicing. And I'm practicing the new way. So I am going to 1, 2 actually. You can go back in if you need to. I'm gonna pull it in the middle, push it up, push it over, up, 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 over, up, up, and then you want it to fall. Push it all the way to the side, and then once you do this, like so. I mean, once you keep practicing though, you want that to melt in as much as possible. Like, for me, doing it this way, it's a lot bumpier and a lot humpier, and I don't really care for it, but, however, it's okay because you can file these acrylics. Because it is a cover powder, so you don't really have to worry about it. I'm going to do it like this, because I've not done it like this, but I'm going to also do it. We're going to do 1 tap. Nope, 2 tap. I'm going to do it the way I need to do it to get it to the way I want it to be. So I'm going to bring this up. Bring that excess up and then pat. And I want this to literally level out. And I want my sides to be nice and crispy. But I'm not sure I like this color, but I'm gonna cut that. So it's not the greatest with my first time doing this, but that's the whole point of practicing. And then I'll show you how I typically do it. I'm gonna set that up there. And I'm gonna blend the top of this out, because that's what I typically do. And then pat the rest in. If it sticks to your brush, you need more monomer. But I also want to melt this so it doesn't even look like I needed to put that bead there. And then we want to keep that side in. Now we have that little hump here, so we're going to pat and pull. And if you have to go back up and forth to blend that bead in, do it. But for the most part, I'm going to pull that down. And then pull the side in. And then cut the rest. Oops, I just put my brush through the bottom of that. I did it again. Don't do that. Okay, this is new to me, y'all. Make sure it's nice and straight. So I am doing this, okay? And I'm going to lay this guy right here. And I want to fill in this area, so I'm just going to lightly pull this up. The more monomer you get on your brush is to activate, so that way it melts it to what is in there. And I'm going to lightly pull that down. So, and my room is very hot, so that's going to play a role as well, guys. But for the most part, these guys, you can literally go over them and you can just do a little bit of a wet bead and just kind of pull it down, and that will get rid of some of the lines if you want to do that. But for the most part, I don't like this nail at all, but that's the point of practicing, right? And then you would go in and shape it up, you know, if you want to do, because like typically if you do like the 3 bead, you're building your apex, but I am not a good apex builder, so I still have to work on that. So I'm just gonna go 1, 2, lightly take that out, and I'm gonna put that guy here in the middle, and I'm going to push that up as far as I can get it and over. And then we want to pull that in and melt that in, but we don't want too much pressure because we still want that. We want a slope, guys. That's what we want, a slope. So there's that. So it's not too bad, right? There's still a slope there. So I am just going to take a little bit. And I'm going to put this here. And I'm just going to push. And I'm going to keep pushing. Oops, don't get it on your skin. And we're going to pull that, melt that in. Just like so. And then I mean, it's a little bumpy, but practice-wise, it's not too bad, right? I had to use 5 beads in order to get any type of good structure. When you have a longer nail, your actual apex is going to be right here. The longer the nail, the farther down it's going to be for apex wise. Now typically I would come in with another bead right here and right here at the tip, just so I know and make sure I have enough. But like right here at the tip, but I don't know if I like this powder at all, to be honest. So I am a swiper, guys. So I'm trying to not be that bad of a swiper and just kind of melt that up in there. Oh, don't do that. That was not good. So now I have a beep there, but that's okay. I'm gonna cut that edge off. I mean, for the most part, it's not bad. So I would actually have to take a lot of strength to go ahead and shape up this nail because there is so much there. But I know that my strength is at least there, but it's still not as good as I want it to be, right? My edges are not that great. And yeah, I'm still missing my apex, and there's a little slope there, but it's okay, right? Like, there's just not enough there. But it's alright, because I do know the strength is there. So, I mean, that's that one. But you can go in, and if you have any flaws, you guys, you can go in and you can take that and add some glitter to it, right? So let's take, we have this nice, beautiful pink. So we can take this guy. We have this beautiful yellow. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and lightly fill it in with glitter, guys. Glitter is the one thing that you can do light, or you can do super, super thick, and it will look beautiful. And it can be spots, it could be whatever. Real thick if you want it. I don't want it thick, guys. So I'm just gonna lightly do like a little ombre. So I'm gonna bring it up. Just to give it some color. But you have to also remind yourself that when you're using a core powder and you're building the structure, depending on if you're putting glitter on or whatever, if you're not putting any glitter or anything on, you're fine. You can do it and then go in and file. But like, I wanted to hide that little area, so I put glitter on. So guess what I have to do now? I have to add clear, right? So I'm doing this as thin as possible because I have to do a thin clear layer. Do I want to do that? Not technically, but I wanted to hide that, so I'm going to pull this up so it's all flush, and then pull it down. Right? This is just to put some glitter on there, and then you can do whatever nail art you want. I'm just going to kind of add this. And I'm going to lightly make it go up in different directions, so that way, like, it's not all leveled out, and it's different. You know what I mean? So it looks like it's actually... there. You can maneuver your glitters around You can leave them like that. You can add more, whatever. It's whatever your preference is, to be honest. And if you're missing some on the side, just kind of do it. It's not a big deal. I'm going to do it like kind of going all the way up though. Just to give it something different here. We're going to pat those in. But now I have to clear cap this nail because I put glitter on it. So when you're clear capping like this, you just have to make sure that you're not building the nail so thick and so high that when you go in with your other one, you have to like really go in and, you know. So there's that one. I don't like that one. That one's not my favorite, but I wanted to at least try that 3 bead thing, which turned into 5 bead one. So I am going to take this guy. Hi, Christina Love. Hi, Rocky. I started on A Young Nails Low Odor Acrylic. It sets slower and smells a lot less than normal. Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet. You can do it, Sugar. Aw, thanks. Thanks, Bramble. Yeah, I thought if I tried it to a point where, like, obviously I was doing it to where I could show you guys I could file that if I wanted. I didn't want to do any filing. This is just acrylic wise. But I'm going to show you how I used to build a nail and all of that. But this is what happened. This is the first one, which is not actually bad for structure wise. The structure is great on this one, guys. It really is. It's not that bad at all. I know that the structure is there. It's not going to snap on me. And at least my cuticle bead, I hated cuticle beads, guys. I was so bad at it. I would get it everywhere. I did not get it everywhere on this one. So I'm very proud of that, because that is straight awesome, okay? I literally used to get it everywhere. So I'm very, very thankful that, you know, I am seeing progression. Is that your hobby? Yes, but it's also my job now, which I'm so grateful for. All right. So for the next one, I am going to be using, and also I wanted to show you guys, I'm going to take this off here. All right. I wanted to show you guys, some acrylics will turn your monomer colors. You see how cloudy it is? See how cloudy that is? That came from the Nail House acrylic. Some are just like that because it's the pigment that's in there. So just know that if you go to do a clear cap or anything like that, you just want to make sure that you are changing out your monomer. Okay? Because you don't want to take that same dirty monomer and go in with your beautiful either 3D work or your glitter, because it's going to make it cloudy. Okay? It's going to make it extra cloudy, actually. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I have everything out of my brush. Clean it. Just so when I go to put it down, I know that I have no acrylic in there at all. See that? Ta-da! Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set her over here. I'm going to use this guy. We're going to do one more nail. Okay, this time I'm going to do an ombre. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to do my glitter up the nail. A lot of people like to do the cover color down over the glitter. I typically don't like to do that because you can get air pockets stuck within the glitter. So I'm going to actually do it the opposite way, and we're going to do the cover first, and then we're going to bring up the glitter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use this glitter here, which is just fine glitter one, and it's purple. So I think I want to use the lighter color. I'm going to use this lighter color pink with the sparkle in it. I'm going to use the Mia Secret one this time. And then I'm also going to use this sparkly guy. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this. You always want to make sure that you stir all of your glitters. Whether they're chunky, they're fine. You just want to make sure, especially if they've been sitting for a while. This one has a lot of glitter in it, guys. This is like super glitter. Alright. So, this guy is dry now. So, I'm going to actually pull him out. Alright. So, I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to put him in. So this guy's not going to be as big, okay? So this is also going to give us a little bit of, you know, it's not as long, as you can see, once we get it in there. So because it's not as long, this is, I think if you do, like, if you do long, medium, short, and you work on all of those, I think you will do great. Now, if you guys did practice with me, let me know, because I would love to know if you did. If you didn't, that's okay too. You can always refer back to this if you want. But I was also practicing with you guys. This is not me telling you this is how you got to do it. This is us practicing together, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what's left in here. And I'm going to take my brush. Okay, this isn't a very big nail or anything. Oh, hold up. Okay. And what I'm going to do is typically I will take my brush and I will take my monomer and I will get this wet. Okay, that makes it nice and sticky. So what I used to do, and I want to start doing now. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and build with the color. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Okay. Lift off. Okay. Now we don't want this to go down too far. If it does, it does. Whatever it is, what it is. Alright, y'all. Look at that. Let's push up a little bit more. Pull that side in. Make it even. Now, this is me secret, so it dries super fast. And another tip, if you have dirty monomer, it will make your acrylic dry fast as well. Just so you know. So, like I said, we're going to go ahead and just pat that in there. And I'm going to saturate my brush. And I'm just going to do a tiny little bit. We're going to let that off. And I'm going to poke it. Just a little bit of pressure. I'm heavy-handed, so... And you want to get it all the way to the side. And then you want to pull that side. And then go in the middle. Look at that cuticle bead, guys. Oh my gosh, I did it. I did the cuticle. I didn't touch it or nothing. Okay. Okay. Alright, I'm going to come in the side. And I'm going to just push this down here. But with this one, I want to melt that into that other bead. Look at that. You can't tell the difference. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly pull this down. And the reason why I want to do that is so that way when I go to put my glitter on, there's no harsh line. Okay? So, look at that. Even though it goes down, it doesn't matter because we're ombreing those colors. Right? So you can add a little bit more right there if you want. But look, that's not bad at all, you guys. I can add another one if I want to, but I'm not going to build it with that color. I think what I'm going to do is build it with the clear since I'm adding this color down here. So I'm going to go ahead. That is great, guys. That is nice. You have a nice slope because you want a slope. So, alright, let's go ahead. I'm going to use what's left. Saturate my brush. 1, 2, 3. Look at that glitter. Oh my Lanta. So, we are going to pop this guy right here. Look at that. Take that excess off. What you want to do is you want to pull this glitter up. You do not want any harsh lines, you guys. So, what's happening with mine right now, this is not how you would typically do it. However, I gotta melt that in there. The problem with this is I don't have enough monomer, but I wanted to show you what I used to do. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pat that down, and we're gonna work it up too, because we want it to, what we want to do is we want that glitter to melt into itself, because we don't want a bunch of, okay, then you can go and take that excess glitter off if you want. Pull it down if you want. You don't have to, but you can also pull it up so that way it's like actually faded. See that? If you do get a lot on there, because this is super, super sparkly, it's not a big deal, guys, at all. I'm just trying to show you what it's like if I just keep going with the monomer I have that's in my dish right now. Yes, you can still use it, but not only is it going to stick in your brush. So I'm showing you that you can still use it, right? But it's going to stick in your brush. It's not going to look the greatest, and you're not going to be able to work with it nicely. Does that make sense? So that's why if you're going in with a new color, you always want to make sure you add some new monomer. See, it's not even cooperating. A, you don't have enough monomer. I don't have enough monomer. And B, it is not cooperating in a way that you need it to, because it is such a fine glitter. Does that make sense? So typically it wouldn't look lumpy like that, but if it does, don't fret, guys. Do not fret. Not a big deal at all. We're going to take this excess off. It doesn't matter, because you can always make it look nice. Okay? I'm just going to pat some of this in. Alright. That's what she looks like right now. We're going to make her look better. Okay? So, I'm going to take this. And I'm just going to take this little guy, and we're going to take that excess out. I'm just going to take it, and we're going to add a little bit in there, because I'm also going to build it with the clear. Okay, now that she's good, we're going to tap, and I am only going to need a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to make sure that it is a wetter bead than normal. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it down. And I want this to make it look like it is nice and level when you look at it from this angle. See that? You don't want like a bunch of bumpies, I guess you would call them. So now we need a little bit more here. You want it as thin as possible, guys, because you're going to build the structure with the clear. So we're going to do one little let off. And I should be able to walk this all the way over to both sides. And then we're going to pull it up and melt it back into where that color ended. See that? So we're going to go ahead and push the rest of this down. Clean up our sides. Push that in. And if you didn't get enough on the side, it's okay. You can just kind of pull it down a little bit. But if there's still like, it's not, this corner is all the way done, and you're still missing a tiny piece right there, it really doesn't matter. It's kind of preference. It's up to you guys. But I'm just going to go ahead and pat. Get my brush wet. and we're going to pull up. And that is just, the monomer is like reactivating that, guys. Okay, so every time you go back in and add more monomer, it's activating it. So you can make it nice and thin and glittery and nice. I like mine to be super wet when I go to do one of these up here and I want it to look nice and tapered. I go in with a wet bead. So I'm just going to go ahead and use it like this, and I'm going to pull that guy down. But I'm also going to pull him up over that line, so it looks like I melded it in. Now it looks like I melded it in. There's no like bumpies, and it all looks like it's one. Does that make sense? Now it just looks like a faded glitter ombre. And if you have a moon like this, you want to make sure you're cutting that nice and crispy, so that way you don't have any excess around the bottom here. But that's what she looks like, and I think she looks awesome. She's not bumpy. If you look from her from this side here, if there is a divot here, it's okay. Your clear is going to fill that in. So don't think that you have to build the entire nail with this glitter color, because that's not, you're not going to want to do that. You just want a little background color. As you've seen how thin that I did it, you just want a little background color, because your clear is what's going to be the one that A, is going to give you your strength, and B, is going to fill everything in, so that way you can have a nice glitter ombre. Does that make sense? Hi, Sunny. Hi, Monique. How do you clean your hairbrush after acrylics? Well, I mean, typically, I'm going to get a new side of my towel. I just dip it into my monomer. And your monomer is going to activate it, and you're going to be able to take it out of your brush if you have any in your brush. So I'm just taking it like this. I'm going to take off the excess, okay? And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to flatten it. This is how I tame my brushes, I guess you could say. And I just keep switching and turning my brush to each side, so that way I know I'm going through those bristles. Now, one way to tell if it's clean is when you take your bristles like this and they actually fan apart. If they do not fan apart and they're stuck like that and there's big spots, then you know you still have acrylic in there. And plus you can also feel the acrylic as well. So that is clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my bigger brush to encapsulate, okay? So I'm going to use my Nail Make Clear. And I'm going to use my clear to encapsulate this beautiful glitter. Look at this holographic glitter, guys. Oh, she's beautiful and gorgeous. So one thing I am going to do, though, I'm going to let that dry before I go adding and encapsulating. So one thing I do want to note is make sure you let the bottom, let your acrylic dry fully before you go in and add your clear. So you want to make sure that your background, your color right here, you want to make sure it's completely dry before you go in with your clear. That way you know that it is completely dry. You're not going to have any heat spikes from the monomer, because that can happen, especially if you're using too much monomer. I'm just going to clean this off so I don't get any in my clear here. Look at that. I'm going to push her back up. That's not bad, guys. I kind of pushed her out. She's still kind of sticky, so I'm going to kind of let that dry a little bit longer. So on the edge and the bottom, she's still kind of sticky, but no, I think she looks great. I mean, look at this. So now we can use the apex for this one. So we can build the apex with the clear if we want. Does this make any sense at all, guys? I know, right? I love it. Can you say hi, Camille? I have a worse day. Well, I'm sorry you had a bad day. I hope it gets better, love. I'm trying to do acrylics. Shout out to everybody who is still in here. I really appreciate it so freaking much. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Sorry I'll have to leave. No worries. Hi, Rocky. Hi, Kimmy. Do your followers call you sugar? They do. Nails by K. Hello. Love your channel. Trying to grow my channel. You'll get there, love. You will get there. Everybody is on it on their own time. Just keep grinding. Keep doing it. You got this. Thank you. I'm going to take a drink while this is drying a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and encapsulate this one. And then I'm just going to hand file her and put some top coat on. And that's it for tonight, everybody. But what do you guys think? I'm going to use my bigger brush to encapsulate, so I have a little bit more room and area. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add my brush. And I'm actually going to start right about here and try to work it down. And then we're going to try to do that. So we're going to go 1, 2. Once it's glossy, right? Set her down here. 1, 2. She should come right off. Okay, so you want to go in, and we're trying to build that apex and get it all the way to the side. But you don't want a big, thick bead up here. So, I'm going to have to put some pressure to pull that down with. It's the only problem I have is not being able to walk it down the nail. Like, I am just an enthusiast, guys, but I feel like the more I use big beads, I feel like, oh my god, it's gonna dry too fast. You know? 1, 2. That was a bad bead right there, but that's okay. I'm just going to do what I do. Typically, what I do. And because what I do is different, and I want to do it the way I do it. Because I feel like I'm not... Okay, now I can pull it down, but before I couldn't. So I'm going to pull this excess down as far as I can get it. And we're going to keep these edges in nice. And then you can take this and bring it back up. If you don't want to waste it. Or you can take it off. It's up to you guys. But, like, I'm a swiper. So, like, I don't know. I definitely have to work on the padding. And bringing it down the nail. For sure. I got my beads. Now I got to work on actually doing it on the nail. You know what I mean? Which is fine. It's not that big of a deal. But a moon shaped is a lot different too. If you're new and you're a beginner, the moon shape is a lot different. It just won't come off. There we go. Get off. Okay. I guess for me, I think, like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to do it a new way, but it's like, I'm going to lay that down. That had a lot of monomer in it. That was not what I was looking for, but I'm going to pull that down anyway. As long as all of your glitter is encapsulated, that's what I always used to tell people. As long as your glitter is all encapsulated, you're fine. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. Pull this in the middle. Push it down. And we're going to pull all the way up and to the side. And I got it on the nail. And I'm just making sure it's going. And then you just nicely clean it. You don't want to get it on your skin at all. Not like I just did. But that's one thing. If I do it real nice at the top, guys, if I'm trying it this nice new way, then I cannot walk it down the way I want it to. See what I'm saying? It is driving me bonkers. Like, now, I gotta make sure I'm just gonna go in the way I know how. We're gonna blend that in. And now, we're gonna kind of pat because we're gonna pull this down just a little bit. So that way we can't see our mess up from before. I do have to do another cuticle bead though. Because when you swipe, you will... See, I'm so used to going off the side of the jar. I almost lost that one that time. And it's sticking to my brush. I mean, it's really hot in here now, but you can still get it to blend the way you need it to, guys. And make sure the whole thing is nice and crispy. Like, you want to make sure you clean up the bottom and the edges really nicely. And I kind of went up and over this edge way too much, but... I mean, it's going to be lumpy and bumpy, and this one's going to be cray-cray, but you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to make sure I fill that in. And I kind of pat over this edge a little bit. Because I want that whole thing to be nicely encapsulated. I don't want to lose my glitter. There we go. And she's still straight. It's just some of it is still kind of wobbly, which your actual, like, see how thick she is? She should not be thick. She should not be thick at all in terms of your, like, wideness of your nail, right? But the moon shape always looks that way too. So I'm going to go in just a little bit here. And I'm going to thin this guy out. And I'm going to make sure it's not going to dry the way I need it to. There we go. And I'm just going to lightly pull that down so that way. There we go. Oh shit. I got it on the skin, guys. No. So I'm not that great, but I can still snatch up a nail. Does that make sense? So I got a little womp womp right there, but we can file that down. It's not a big deal. So, like, see how I built that, though? You're going to take those layers off and make it nice and smooth, meaning I can snatch it up, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. Which is still going to look beautiful and fine. You want to make sure that you encapsulate this part here as well, because you will be filing that down. But I just wanted to show you that and try the new way and the new method. It's not the greatest. I still need to work at it, but I think the bead ratio, guys, if you try the beads the way we did the beads, I think that's going to help. I know it helped me. Now I just have to get it on, doing it on the nail the right way. You know what I mean? But I am so thankful you guys came to, can you do a video how to do French like the machine? Hi, Heaven. What setup do you have for the nails? Setup? What do you mean setup wise? Like how I do the nails, or... Alright, I'm going to add a little bit. I'm going to clean this out as this is drying, because that's got to dry. So I'm going to clean this excess that's in here out. You always want to make sure you clean this out, guys. Get all that excess out of the bottom. Okay? And then you also want to clean your brush. So I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Not going to waste too much. But because this is a bigger brush, you want to make sure you're really getting into those bristles. As you can see, there's quite a bit that come out of my brush. I don't know if you can actually see it moving in there or not, but because of how I was doing it and trying a new way, I'm going to have to try it again with you guys and, you know, and see what we can do. But for the most part, I think I got all of it out. What do you guys think? If you didn't see the liquid to powder ratio and the brushes, check that out. Make sure you guys do go check that out when we're done, because I think that is my favorite part. Okay, so let's see. So I still have, oh, maybe not. I'm gonna just kind of saturate that again, just a teeny bit here. Alright, get as much out as possible. And all I'm doing is taking my hand and my finger and making sure I am pushing out that acrylic or those glitters. And there we go. She's clean. Alright, so there's that brush. My other brush is clean. Alrighty dighty, guys. I am going to leave this in here because that's fresh. Alright, so I'm going to move this, and I'm going to file this up really quickly. I'm going to throw this guy away here. And what I do is I throw it away in a big bag like this. Any type of napkins that you have, throw away in big plastic baggies like this. Suck all the air out of it. Okay? And this will help keep your room from smelling. Okay? The Ziploc bags, you do not pour this. For a beginner with acrylic, do not ever pour monomer down your bathroom drain or in your toilets or anything like that. Just don't do that. That's a no-no. Okay? Alright, I'm going to move these out of the way. So this is what she's looking like. Okay? She's a little, you know. Going to take her out. We're going to clean the finger because I do not file with it in my finger to keep my finger nice and, you know, for a long period of time. If you file with it in there, then you're going to file up your finger, and these guys are not cheap, so I tend to not do that. I will just hand file in my hand. Alright, I'm going to stick her up there. This is what she looks like, okay? She's very wide and very thick. You want to stay away from that wideness, but you can go ahead and you can actually use your drill to hand file that down, and it's going to be beautiful and awesome, okay? It's really going to do something. So, one way to make sure it's dry. Okay, so that's not dry yet. That's dry. But this is not. You can hear the difference. That's not dry either. And the back is still sticky. So you want it to sound like that. Okay? That's what you want it to sound like. So I am going to go ahead and hand file this up real quick. I'm going to put it in my lamp for a couple seconds. Just to make it, turn the heat on to it. Oh, you're okay. You're okay. You can ask as many questions as you need to. Can you make a video for French tips? I can. I haven't done it yet. That is on my list to do. I've only done acrylic Frenchies like twice. Hi, Kahana. How are you? What brands? I just took a variety of different brands. One's from myself, Me a Secret. We have Nailmate. I do have a code with Nailmate. Okay, that's Glitter Planet. And this is her Glow collection. It's beautiful. And then the rest of these are mine, except for this one is from Nail House. And this is called, I don't know, Charisse? And let's see, I was using my Nailmate brush, which is the big brush. Alright, so we're going to hand do this real quick. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to file one side and then the other at the same time. Okay, so we're going to go underneath. And really, you want a nice 80/80 grit file to make sure that your sides are nice and crispy. But I had fun doing the bead ratio with you guys. Like, I had so much fun doing that. Like, we did really, really well. It was good showing all the different types, too. So, when you are doing your nail set, you guys, make sure the bottom, you want it to be straight. You don't want anything hanging down. If you have something hanging down, it's going to make your entire nail look lumpy, and it's going to take away from the nail design, okay? Here's what it looks like. Kind of lumpy with all that on there. I don't know if you can see it. And then this side is straight. So, just keep that in mind. Most of it will all come off. But I had fun, like, just practicing with you guys. And like I said, I'm not a nail tech. I'm just a nail and you know, whatever. And, you know, I've been doing this for a couple years and I love acrylic, but I really want to step up my game. But I also wanted to practice and just kind of show you a little bit of what I've been trying out over the last little bit. So, alright, so we're going to come back in with this guy, put pressure here, because we want this to be nice and crispy. Same on this side. We want to bring it in. We don't want it to be super, super wide. She's still super wide, but you can use your drill. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it really fast. Okay, I'm taking off the top here. Smoothing all that out. I don't want to smooth it out too much to where I'm going to lose my little arch here, but I do want to smooth it out to where it all is nice and flush and really, really beautiful. But your file will tell you exactly where you need to file. And I'm going to take it like this, and we're going to make sure we get that edge down. That's why you need to make sure you encapsulate, guys. And it's all about angles, too. Oh, yeah. So you want them to come in. You don't want your nail to be super thick. We're going to call this a thumb. Okay? We're just calling it a thumb. Okay? Just because I said so. She's so wide, we're just going to call her a thumb. I don't know what size she actually... I think she was a size 2. Or 1. So, technically a thumb, almost. So... I mean, that's not bad. Not bad at all. She likes to come tapered to a point. She'll need to come in more here. I'm not really worried about it, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and go over her one more time. And we're going to do this little guy. So this is the moon shape, and you want to make sure you're actually getting it nice and moon shapey. This is the only time you will use your drill, is when you go to do the moon shape itself. And you don't want to go in too much to where you lose the sides of your nail. And so you will be able to see, like, if you go too far in on one side or the other. That's not bad. You want to make sure that it's nice and tapered. So you want to make sure you have more here than you do here, because this is your stress point, and the middle right here is your stress point. Okay? So you kind of want to take down this bottom portion. And just make sure you go around it, and then make sure you don't flatten out this part so much, but you still want it to be nice and, you know, buffed out, looking beautiful. Beautiful and tapered in. Okay, this is our so-called thumbnail. Okay? Because that's what we're calling it. Alright, I'm going to take my little tiny drill. Yes, you do need a top coat. We're going to go about a 10. And I'm going to take it at an angle. And I'm just making sure I'm getting that excess out of there. And I'm still keeping it that moon shape. And you can see if you have more on one side than the other. And like I said, if you have a bunch underneath, guys, it will make it look bulky. I'm telling you, it will absolutely make it look bulky. Ow, and don't do that. Take that excess out of there. Make sure that excess is nice and clean. Nicely shaped. You want to make sure it's even on both sides when you shape it. And you want to make sure the moon shape is nice and sealed. Haha. Beautiful, darling. Alright. She's looking great. I'm just going to take this in just a little. Much better. Are you guys ready for the taco, though? I'm ready for it. Alright. Ta-da! Alrighty, dighty. Alright. That was great, everybody. You guys are awesome. Hi, Wendy. I just got veto. What's that mean? What's veto? V2? V2. What's that mean? Valerie, hi! Hi, Cordy, you're still here. Yay! Alright, let's get this top coat going, shall we? And I'll show you the beads that we did. You'll have to rewind for the little tips I did for the acrylic, because I was trying something new and I figured something out and I was like, oh, we got to do it this way. Oh, I got to do it that way. And it worked, and now I got to work on getting it on the nail the same way that I do the beads. So, I had a great time, though. What do you guys think? Cordy, what do you think? I don't know if it was informational. I don't know if it helped anybody at all, but, yeah. Look at that. Okay. Look, that's a nice moon shape. She's still tapered in, but she's still kind of fat. But for a thumbnail, that's a very pretty thumbnail, y'all. Oh, voluntary time off. Gotcha. That's a very nice thumbnail. And typically, you would want to make sure that you take your buffer and buff, because you want it nice and smooth before you put your top coat on. So take a buffer, make it nice and smooth. Because I'm telling you, if you put any color on this, for like nail art or anything like that, you'll be able to see any of the holes or any like harsh lines. So make it nice. Ooh, yeah. Do your free edge as well. And then I also do the underside, like the sides. And I do this for every nail. Ooh, she's nice and smooth. Ta-da! Alrighty. Now I gotta clean her off again since I forgot. I forgot that I had to do that. But we're gonna use my BRITTBRATNAILDIT top coat, which is my favorite top coat in the world. It is no longer available. However, it will be back in September. So keep an eye out, guys. Okay? Alright, let's put her in. We're going to put her in. We're going to clean her off with our isopropyl alcohol. And then we're going to use our top coat. Look at that glitter, guys. Tell me she isn't a beautiful ombre. I think the ombre came out beautiful. I really, really do. I like a sporadic ombre, but everybody's a little different, but I think she came out really nice. Alright, let's do our top coat, shall we? And then we are done for the night. Alright, I'm going to do this. This is the thin glaze top coat. What do you guys think, everybody? Look at that. Oh my Lanta. That glitter, that fine glitter acrylic, it's awesome. It's beautiful. I don't care. Oh my Lanta. It is so beautiful. Wow. And I made that glitter acrylic. Seal your free edge in. You have to make sure you seal the free edge, everybody. Okay? Don't get it on your skin, like I just did. But another thing that I'm going to do is I like sealing in the edge. Underneath, I do this for even if they're on my nails. Okay, so we're going to seal the free edge. And you're going to seal the free edge underneath. And that's really going to seal that in nice. Wow. Beautiful. Now, if you have any lumps and bumps still, like I don't have any lumps and bumps, mine's I have the slope. Can you guys see the slope? Oh my god. Now, if you guys do have any lumps and bumps, you can still make sure that you can get it with a thick, nice thick top coat, guys. Okay? You can get it with a nice thickeroni top coat. I'm trying to make sure that I take all that excess off. But anyway, that is what she looks like, and I think she looks beautiful. Forgot a little spot there, though. Beautiful. Levels out so beautifully, guys. I just have something in my top coat. See, the only thing I hate is I got some stuff in my top coat. It sucks, but it's all good. And I think, what is that called when you're like going overdrive? When you're like, oh, it's not the greatest or something. There she is. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put her in my lamp for a full 60 seconds, guys. Ah, I just put my finger in it. Who does that? Me. I always put my finger in my nail. Okay. Goodness gracious. I think she's beautiful, though. In the lamp she goes. Full 60 seconds, everybody. Alrighty, dighty. That is awesome. Here's our little bead ratio, guys. What did you guys think? You guys will have to let me know. Comment after the live and let me know if you guys liked this portion of it, because we did it together. It wasn't like I was telling you what to do. We did it together. So this was my favorite portion right here. I absolutely loved it. Here's this nail. We did not encapsulate, but you can see that there is a really nice structure. So the nail's not going to break, but you will have to file more. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Nellie will be so proud. Aw, thanks, Cordy love. I tried. Malika, hi. Is it Malika? Malika? Monique, hello, you ate that. Aw, thanks. I appreciate all of you guys so freaking much. You have no idea. Alright, guys, this is what she looks like. And so I have the slope. It's not like super slopey. There is a slope, just a little bit, but you know what? There's our moon, there's underneath, looks really nice. So it's just a little bit of a wide nail, but it is a thumbnail, so I think I would love this. If it was my thumbnail, I think that this nail would be just beautiful on me. I mean, look at that thumbnail. I think that thumbnail looked so beautiful. What do you guys think? Here's what the glitter looks like up close. I think the glitter is beautiful. And I know that this is... Okay, hold up. We have new buttons on here. Alright, hold on. I'm going to show you the... Alright, hold on. I want to show you guys the flash because the flash is so pretty. Alright, flash is on, everybody. She's flash reflective. She's crazy looking. She's super flash. Holy crap. She's really pretty, though. So that's what she looks like up close, everybody. I think she's cute. We need a lot to work on, but hey, we did it. Thanks for doing our little bead ratio together. I appreciate it so freaking much. You'll have to let me know, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks! I am leaving myself. I gotta get myself to bed. Thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hello, hi! My name's Sugar. It's nice to meet you. Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love you guys so much. And if this helped you guys, please let me know in the comments below after this live, because it really, really did help me a lot. And so, yeah, here's the nail. Here's our first crazy nail. Oh, where'd she go? There's our crazy structure nail, but then here's this. I know she's not going to break anytime soon. So, I love you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Shout out to all of my mods, my patrons, my members. I love you guys. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Thanks for hanging with me tonight. Toodaloo. God bless everybody. Whoop.